Many thanks for joining us tonight on Y254 News. It is the 20th of September 2017. My name is Christine K, and today being a Wednesday, we are discussing health matters. In studio with me is a nutritionist to shed light on the issue of fast food. We need to find out the effects of fast food on our health. So do stay tuned for that discussion, and you can send us your questions and your comments on our SMS line, that is 22162, beginning with the word news. And you can also find us on social media, Twitter and Facebook at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254 updates. But for now, let's have a look at the top stories. The IEBC has been found guilty of disregarding the elections law and the constitution in conducting the August 8th general elections. Following the petition by NASA coalition, majority of the judges found out that IEBC did not provide credible, fair and verifiable presidential elections. The IEBC was also found guilty of disregarding the court order to grant access to servers. Hilary Dereva with that report.
Today's detailed verdict came barely a day after Jubilee supporters demonstrated at the Supreme Court following allegations that some of the judges were compromised. Out of the 7 judges and 6 of the present judges during the hearing of the petition, only 2 judges dissented the verdict. Speaking today during the reading of the verdict, Justice Isaac Lenaula noted that the elections were
swarm of bees. An unconscious beggar who was near the Supreme Court was not spared after he got stung by the bees that attacked around 11:40 a.m. on Wednesday. He was quickly rushed to hospital by the St. John ambulance personnel. It is after the incident that the police and protesters were forced to stand at a safe distance away from the Supreme Court gate. The bees attacked as the Supreme Court judges delivering the full ruling that nullified August 8th presidential elections. Reporting for Y254 News Highlights, I am Karen Njisa.
Now, moving on, Tuskys Supermarket Chief Executive Officer Dan Githua says merging with Nakumatt will have the 2 retail chains operate under one management. However, the owner families will remain the principal shareholders after the transaction.
Details of the 2 retail chains merging into one emerged on Monday as the latest scramble to save Kenya's biggest chain. Dan Githua, the Chief Executive Officer at Tuskys, while speaking in an interview with the local daily, stated that, and I quote, "The 2 businesses will collapse into one, but before the eventual merger, there's going to be a process of dealing with the liabilities." The recent months saw Nakumatt face bankruptcy suits after new capital that got delayed failed to pay its employees, suppliers and lenders. The merger will bring about the formation of a single entity that will take over all their business, assets and liabilities. Other parties can only come in as debt investors after the merger. The valuation of the 2 businesses is still being worked out, and the merger process could take more than a year. Reporting for Y254 News Highlights, I am Karen Njisa.
And like I told you earlier, it's Wednesday and we discuss matters of health and lifestyle. And we'll begin off by looking at a story. There are many benefits that come with smiling, especially as told by health experts. So one of them being the fact that smiles slow the heart rate and relaxes the body. But have you ever stopped and thought about the smiles to keep and those to avoid? Doreen Arange tells us more on this.
There are quite a number of benefits that come with smiling, among them being stress reduction and better moods. However, not just all smiles are acceptable, as there are those to keep and those to avoid. The tight lip smile is perhaps the most common form of smiling, mainly because it's easy to fake. This smile normally shows fear, shyness, and reserved mindset. The other smile to avoid is the smug smile, which is considered as arrogant and kind of evil smile. This smile is done with the lips slightly separated. The smile normally depicts a sign of self-satisfaction, arrogance, and expression of superiority. It can also be a sign of doubt and attempt to dismiss someone's opinion. Moreover, speaking about the smiles to avoid, we have one that we should all strive to keep, and this is the slower smile. This smile is considered as the most authentic, attractive, trustworthy, and less dominant. It also brings out a lot of confidence in people. Reporting for Y254 News, I'm Doreen Arangi.
Indeed, so keep smiling. Moving on, the benefits of physical activity are numerous, and in fact, getting regular exercise is one of the best things that you can do for your health. But when you're living a busy life, which we all do, setting aside an hour of your day seems impossible. The good news is, if you are incredibly short on time, there is overwhelming evidence that exercising for only 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference in your health and fitness level. If it seems like you've been given different exercise advice throughout your life, you are not wrong. Determining the minimal dose of exercise to recommend to the public is no easy task, especially since we are all so different. But there was a time when no one would ever believe that a 10-minute workout could make a difference. There is an ongoing debate on the effectiveness of short workouts and whether or not a longer is better. Research shows that short bursts of high-intensity interval training can be more effective than 45 minutes of moderate cardio, but longer workouts can help us build endurance. Therefore, pause by 4 of the dietary measures that will ensure all is well with your body as far as health is concerned.
Healthy eating is not about strict dietary limitations, staying unrealistically thin or depriving yourself of the foods you love. It's about feeling great, having more energy, improving your health and stabilizing your mood. All humans have to eat food for growth and maintenance of their bodies, but what most people don't know is that we eat to live, and for us to live long, we need to mind about the foods we consume. Research has shown that most adults are eating more calories than they need and should eat fewer calories. Base your meals on starch, carbohydrates, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, eat more fish, cut down on saturated fat and sugar, eat less salt, no more than 6 grams a day for adults. Many children and families today have busy schedules. This means it is earned to sit down to homemade meals every day. Many kids' diet involve a lot of takeout food, but these foods can be unhealthy and cause health problems that can continue to adulthood. Healthy eating has many benefits for children. Stabilize their energy, improve their minds, helping them maintain a healthy weight. Healthy eating can also prevent many chronic diseases in children like obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, and type 2 diabetes. We should make sure that we eat a well-balanced diet which must include proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, and starch. Fruits are also very important when it comes to healthy living. They are the #1 contributors of vitamins in our bodies. Vegetables should not lack in our diets. Other components of a balanced diet are minerals, fats, and water. It is advisable to take up to 6 glasses of water per day. With good eating habits and proper workouts, then it is easy for us to live a very comfortable life and also avoid visiting the doctor more often. Apples are red, berries are blue, pears are sweet, and they are all good for you. Eat healthy, be nutrition wealthy. Give junk food the boot and switch to fruits. Healthy eating habits promote life. Reporting for Y254 feature, my name is Patricia Murioki.
And that story by Patricia brings us to our topic of discussion today. Remember, I told you it's Wednesday and we talk matters of health and lifestyle. We want you to talk to us on our social media as we ask you the day's question. Send in your comments and your questions to 22162 beginning with the word news. And you can also talk to us on Twitter and Facebook at Y254 channel, and the hashtag is Y254. In studio right now, I have a guest with me by the name Kepha. He is a nutritionist, he's a consultant, and I want him to shed some light to this issue of fast food because many young people especially find fast foods more convenient, and we're always rushing to, get the fast food because it's easier, it's faster, it's more convenient generally. So, Mr. Kepha, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I want us to just start off right off. Maybe first of all, you can tell us, as a nutritionist, what you do.
What I do is I advise people when it comes to nutrition issues, and I deal with lifestyle diseases on daily basis. Some of which actually people actually get because of what you call lifestyle factors, including what we eat on daily basis, lack of exercise, because of stress, and of course lack of rest. So that's what I do on daily basis. So we design nutrition programs for people who have conditions like acidity, digestive issues, people who have conditions like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol levels, etc.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now, it's been a trend, yeah?
Yeah.
So many food chains, international food chains to be specific, have been coming into the country, from KFC to Steers, sorry, not McDonald's, but Teriyaki from Japan. A lot of them have really found market right here in the country. Later on, I want you to tell us why do they feel like they need to tap into this country's market. But first of all, what is it about fast foods that makes them unhealthy?
Okay, first and foremost, when we talk about fast food, it's important for us to understand that, these foods have a lot of sugar, they have a lot of salt, and they have a lot of what you call the saturated fats. And that, of course, increases the risk of getting lifestyle diseases. In fact, when you talk about sugar, it's important for us to know that we have different types of sugar. We have what you call processed sugar. That's what we add in our tea. We also have what you call icing sugar, that is usually found in the cakes. And we have the worst form of sugar, which is called high fructose corn syrup. That's actually found in the soft drinks. And of course, people take a lot of sugar actually tend to get lifestyle disease faster than people taking fatty foods. So these foods, as I say, they have too much sugar, too much fat, and too much salt, and that of course exposes a number of people to lifestyle diseases. They also have what you call preservatives that are also not good to us, so they expose us to the lifestyle diseases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think, because I think, I don't know, first of all, you can tell me from your experience, which age group is likely to prefer fast foods more?
Okay, especially young people, a number of them actually tend to prefer fast foods because they actually they can be able to get some of these foods faster, and they're also convenient because many people don't actually like cooking.
Yeah,
and it's surprising to know that the studies are actually showing that people not married are likely to get lifestyle diseases faster because they don't cook. When you don't cook, it actually means that you always want to get food that is actually fast and convenient. And that's why a number of them go for such foods. People work sometimes, especially during lunchtime. Some of them are forced to go for fast foods. But what we advise them to do is they would actually carry packed lunch. That will really assist them. So the young people and people work, especially the ones who cannot be able to carry their lunch, will in most cases go for some of this food. And of course, as I said, they expose them to a number of conditions.
Great.
Yeah.
From my research, I have seen that one of the reasons also why people, especially the young people, do not like to buy, do not like homemade food or healthy food is because they say it's expensive. I had a friend who actually said to me, when you're buying a salad, you'd find a salad is like 2,000 bob. And when you're buying a burger, you find a burger is 800 bob. So those are like two burgers. They reason that way. What would you say to such people? Okay,
to me, the most important thing is if people would do what we call the cost-benefit analysis, so that you get to know what you get from fast foods and what you get from healthy foods. For example, if you take fast foods, what happens is the risk of getting lifestyle disease actually increases.
Yeah.
Like one of the most common conditions that's affecting many people nowadays is what you call gastritis, which is one of the digestive issues. So when people get such conditions, they spend a lot of money seeing doctors and purchasing medicine. But if you take healthy foods, what happens is you get two things. Number one, you get energy and nutrients. And of course, it's important for us to know that when we take healthy foods, we are preventing so many conditions. In fact, what I usually say is the fact that a healthy diet is actually like a seed of an orange. You cannot count the number of oranges in a seed. The benefits are really many. So it's very, very important for us to consider what you are getting from these foods. So at the time you come to realize that healthy foods actually are actually much cheaper compared to fast foods.
Cheap is expensive,
cheap
basically,
is expensive. That's the
because
right
then
way
you
to
end
put
up
it.
spending so much money trying
Yes.
to get treated.
Yes.
So what are the health effects? Because people don't understand, like, how bad can it really get when you're used to taking this fatty foods and, you know, just these fast foods?
Okay, first and foremost, in fact, if you're used to taking, let's say, foods that have what you call high glycemic index, these are the sugary foods. The risk of getting condition. Yes, for example. Yes, for example, these are foods like cakes. For example, people take soft drinks. They have a very high glycemic index, and of course, these foods actually expose us to conditions like diabetes. Yeah, if you take foods that have a lot of sodium, for example, processed foods, it's important to know that manufacturers use sodium as one of the preservatives. So the risk of getting conditions like hypertension increases.
Yeah.
If you take fatty foods, the risk of getting conditions like cholesterol increases, and that of course exposes us to conditions like heart attacks and stroke that are becoming very common nowadays. So as much as people are taking these foods, I think the challenge is many people are not able to know some of the risk factors of these foods.
All right.
Yeah, that's some of the dangers. Yeah.
Because, I mean, some of these things, first of all, are an addiction.
Yes.
And particularly, I would say something like chicken, the deep fried chicken, you know, with breadcrumbs and all that.
Yeah.
So what are the alternatives that you can recommend for people, that instead of eating this deep fried chicken, this is what you can take instead of eating cakes? Like, what are the alternatives?
Before I talk about alternative, there's something very important that you've mentioned, which is called addiction or cravings. You'll be surprised to know that nobody wants to be sick. And the question is, why would people go for such foods if they don't want to be sick? It's because of cravings. Why do people get cravings? People get cravings because of lack of certain nutrients. For example, we've seen actually during pregnancies, women going for clay or that's in fact sometimes sold in the supermarkets. So when people get the cravings, with time they start going for these foods without knowing why. So what I do as a nutritionist is to assist them to get rid of their cravings. And I've had a number of people tell me that nowadays when I see somebody taking fast foods, I feel very bad. And I call that transformation. It means these are the people who have changed. So what are some of the alternatives? So for example, instead of somebody going for the fast foods, you could take something like an egg sandwich. You could take an egg sandwich, chicken sandwich, plus some salad, compared to somebody who is taking, let's say, chips and soda and deep fried chicken, and some of them even add sausage. And that's one of the challenges we have. People take too much of the wrong foods at the same time, which is not good.
Great. I just want to remind our viewers that our SMS line is 22162, and our Twitter and Facebook are at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254. Send in your comments, send in your questions. The specialist is right here to answer your questions. And remember, the question of the day is about addiction and the effects of fast foods. Why do people consider fast foods healthy? Do send in your comments and questions, and we'll be able to answer them. So, Daktari,
yes,
really, like I said earlier on, you find that these international brands, they have come in and they have taken over. Why do you think they've done that with the Kenyan market?
Okay, first and foremost, they actually seem to be louder than professionals in the sense that they've really invested so much in marketing. In fact, when you walk around, what you see is actually billboards advertising, fast foods. I'm yet to see a billboard advertising healthy foods. That is not there. And of course, that influences people.
That's not there.
That influences people. And you see, it's about influence. So as much as we are saying these foods are bad, many people find themselves taking these foods because of such adverts, because of the kind of budget they've actually allocated to marketing. And I can assure you that the more people take such foods, of course, with time, these are the kind of people who will be seeing doctors on daily basis. Yes, because of lifestyle diseases. Unfortunately, that's going to happen unless we decide to change. And of course, talking about change, is important for us to know that lifestyle change is a process.
It's a
process.
To
start from somewhere.
And you, as a nutritionist, first of all, must be hard to bring someone out of it, especially people who have things like diabetes or obesity. Like, how do you help these people deal with that issue and get back to health?
Okay, first and foremost, it's important for us to know that lifestyle change is a process, as I said. And of course, any process must have what you call the stages. And these are some of the stages of lifestyle change. First and foremost is contemplation. We must start by thinking about it. Number 2 is preparation. And that's where we come in as nutritionists or professionals to assist you. And number 3 is action. Because it's not what you know that makes a difference, but what you do with what you know. And last is maintenance. So when somebody comes to see me, first and foremost, I have to check your parameters. I need to check your BMI. BMI stands for body mass index. I need to check your waist circumference because we should have the recommended ranges for men and women. And I need to check your body fat percentage. Number 2, I need to know what you are taking so that using that information I can be able to design a program for you. So once you implement that program, you'll be coming after some time for review, and of course we'll be setting monthly targets. And many people who've come have really benefited so much. So
as we wind up, one of the questions that even I find my friends asking and us guys discussing is, people talk about the deep fried chicken from these various places that it causes cancer. Really, what in it is cancerous?
Okay, when you talk about cancer, it's very important for us to understand that cancer simply means uncontrolled reproduction of the body cells.
Okay.
Yeah. For us, we don't have cancer. That takes place at night. But of course, for us, that process is actually controlled. And these are actually abnormal cells. When the cells actually start being reproduced without control, these are abnormal cells. So and there's no way, yes, there's no way we can actually take abnormal foods and expect to have normal cells. Why am I calling up fast foods abnormal? Because first and foremost, any food created by God must have 2 things. Number 1 is energy, and number 2 is nutrients. So, but when you talk about fast foods, they just have energy without nutrients, meaning that they're actually abnormal. And the fact that they're abnormal, they must make our cells also abnormal. And that's where we end up getting some of these conditions, including cancers that have become very common nowadays.
So as we finish up, totally, your advice to the young people, parting shots, because it's very difficult to get them to understand that you should eat fries every day, chicken every day, cakes.
To me, the most important thing young people need to know is the fact that some of our actions today have what you call transgenerational consequences. I mean, they are going to affect the future generations. I'm actually talking, for example, of a young lady who is taking fast foods right now, and during pregnancy, maybe she gets calcium deficiency or iron deficiency, and she's going to pass that to the next generation. So it's very, very important for us to make sure that we take care of our food intake so that we don't affect the future generations. That's what I could actually say.
Indeed. Thank you so much for shedding light on that. I hope a few young people will take that home and carry it home and avoid fast foods as much as possible. So let's have a look at news-making headlines in the sports world. Goalkeeper David Gea, defenders Antonio Valencia and Eric Bailey, and midfielder Nemanja Matis, I beg your pardon, will be rested, while defenders Marcos Arroyo and Axel Tuanebe and midfielder Paul Pogba are injured. Barton will be without Liam Boyce, who is injured, and John Brayford, midfielder Hope Akpan, and Marty Palmer will return much later on. Rovers are struggling with the wrong end of the League One, having won just 1 of the opening 8 games. Meanwhile, Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger has suggested he will play a weekend team in the 3rd round contest. Wenger confirmed defender Callum Chambers and midfielder Jack Wilshere will be involved. Now that story brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. We do hope you enjoyed. Do join us same place, same time tomorrow, and we'll give you more stories. My name has been Christine Kiai. Thank you and have a good night.